Ladies and gentlemen, so without further ado, we're going to get our fourth season of Kindred Presents started.
And let's get it started in grand fashion and bring out our very first guest. Ladies and gentlemen, Philadelphia and all over the world, Sandra St. Victor. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, sister.
Hey, brother. And sister.
And sister, as they say. Welcome, and we're so glad to have you here. You're a Dallas native.
Yes.
Correct.
Texas.
Dallas, Texas. You know, it's funny because Dallas, really, as I started reading up on the quiet tip, is a really major hub for some fantastic talent. And much like Philadelphia really has a history of having an incredible environment there that feeds into this industry some of the most amazing talent to come out, period.
Yes, for sure.
Tell us a little bit about the early years for you and how that environment really nurtured you as an artist, because I read a little bit that you've gone to a high school that pushed out quite a few big names, including yourself.
Yeah. So, it was Booker T. Washington, which is high school for the performing arts. First, it was called a magnet school. So from that school, it's like a college curriculum musical course for all the arts, dance, music, theater, and visual arts. And of course, I was in the music cluster. But that cluster put out Erykah Badu, Roy Hargrove,
God bless his soul.
Hey, rest in peace, rest in power, brother. For real. The sister Edie Brickell came out of there. Also Nora Jones.
Nora.
Yeah, she's also from there. And me. So,
Of course.
And
of course, Sandra St. Victor.
There's also some actors and famous actors whose names I always can't remember, but that came out of that school. Fantastic. I remember the music well.
And how did that environment in particular really influence you as an artist?
I think the first thing I'm going to have to say is discipline and respect for the craft, respect for yourself as an artist, but also respect for an audience, showing up, being prepared, being on time, giving 110% every time. The discipline, I think, is the main thing you get out of that. And of course, the teachers we had were amazing. They were really good. So, I had jazz, I had classical, we had pop. We won all these awards all over the state. We traveled, we learned to be working musicians as high school students. So it was really good for that.
We're actually just one block away from Philadelphia's version of Booker T. Washington, which is
High School of Creative and
High School of
Performing
Creative
Arts. I went there.
Indeed. We have some alumni in the house tonight.
Oh, word? Yeah?
Yes,
okay.
indeed.
Okay.
Also, too, as you a high school student and move into this professional era, you're saying that high school really prepared you to be a working musician. And so once you come out of that situation, how do you get from being the hardworking teen with dreams and the whole nine and get into your first big break?
That would be Roy Ayers, okay? Roy Ayers he was trial by fire, because I'm literally, I graduated early because I was skipped up a grade, so I'm really young. And Roy heard me singing at a rinky-dink club down south somewhere, and he said, "I'm gonna take you to New York. I'm gonna take you to New York." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, old man." Gave me his number. He's like, so I got the, and I told the band, I said, Roy Ayers gave me his number. He's talking about he's bringing me to New York. And they were like, "What? You gotta call him." I'm like, "No, I'm not calling him." I was not thinking that way, And, but eventually, I called. And sure enough, he had me and the guitar player come, and we ended up being on the road like 2.5 years. It was really trial by fire. He took me all over the world. I was in Africa with him, and in Japan and London, and all over Europe, all over the United States, of course. Roy Ayers works his patootie
He's done
off.
the show. He's been here.
He's been here at this
He sure has.
Roy keeps it moving, right? Yeah. So I call Roy. He was university, right? He was university.
So he's the first artist that you ever worked with who was a major artist
Right.
that you wanted to work with.
Yeah, he was the first one. And actually, the funny thing is that, a funny thing about dreams, if you say you dream big, but if you actually meditate on these things and they don't feel like dreams. They just feel like, seeing what's going to happen, because I saw that I was vibing on Roy Ayers, for weeks before I met him. And then I started vibing on Shaka Khan, okay, because we were trying to learn some songs with my band, little band we was doing, so got into that. And then Shaka came to a Roy Ayers show, and she came backstage, and there was, about to tell my age, there was a payphone backstage.
That had to be 2 years ago.
Yeah, so it's just a couple years. Just a couple
See, this is a mature crowd. I'm sure everybody here
Y'all
has used
know
we
payphones,
We done used
don't-
payphones before, right? Come on, y'all.
All right. So yeah, I'm backstairs. I'm talking to my friend on payphone. I'm gonna put my little quarters in, and Shaka comes there, and she's just standing there, and I'm like, "She said, can I talk to you?" I was like, "I gotta go." I got to go. Shaka Khan's not ready, so I hung up, and she's like, "You want to sing more, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And she said, "Okay, give me your number. Give me your number." And because I'm putting my band together, and I want some new singers, and so,
That's so awesome.
And
That's my boo.
and that is an amazing opportunity to be with. She's a singer.
no doubt.
And
For sure.
and to switch from really kind of in a jazz environment into kind of like top 40 R&B, soul, that kind of thing at that time. What was the big transition between that kind of work, doing jazz and then doing R&B, and particularly with the likes of Shaka Khan? And you got to have some cool stories from the road on that one.
Oh yeah, we probably be here all night for some cool stories from Shaka
Oh,
shows.
baby. Oh, got cool stuff with Roy Ayers too, but Shaka, we had some good times on the road. I mean, like I said, Warriors University, Shaka was like the next level, like doctorate degree. She was, I really, all that discipline of high school, you're learning all these different musical disciplines as well. So of course, you got your jazz, and I got pop and that sort of thing. But they did, when they teach you, I don't know if they still do it like that, but teach you to singing pop music. They don't want you to use your chest voice. So I had to start, and Shaka was telling me, you got to squeeze your butt cheeks. Because girl, if you can hit all them low notes, you can hit high notes. If you can hit them low notes, you can hit them high notes. So so she was like, it was another lesson, another tier of development, but yeah, girl wrote stories. Oh, I don't know if y'all that mature, this audience.
No, they they're mature.
Now
The lights is
we're
not
very
enough.
mature here. I think for Shaka, in terms of working with Shaka, and you work with some major heavy hitters in terms of artists, but also just powerhouse vocalists. I was reading also that Lisa Fisher has played a pretty big part in how you were able to transition from, working with other artists
people
on
to the
their
Family
music
Stand.
into being with the Family Stand. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in New York, I was doing a lot of sessions. I had met Lisa when I still lived in Dallas, in Texas, but she was singing with a group called the Crystals. I don't know if y'all that old. Y'all remember the Crystals?
No, but we're going to go back and look for them though now.
Okay, the Crystals.
We're going
like,
to find the
Anything
crystals,
Lisa
though.
Fisher was a part of, I want to know about.
But she wasn't doing her music. It was like a doo-wop group, and they had the younger girls come in, to fill in as the older girls went out and that sort of thing. So I met her. But I was in New York doing a lot of sessions, and so was she. And she was also getting very busy on the road with Luther at that time. And so she was doing demos as well for folks. And she was doing demos for Peter and Jeff, who are the other two members of Family Stand. And she couldn't, she's like, I gotta go out, and they just need somebody to do these demos. I want y'all to meet and see if y'all, vibe. And just so happened, I was at home at the time in Dallas visiting my folks. Peter and Jeff were in Dallas producing the Mac Band. Roses are red, violets are blue. Oh, yeah, y'all know that song. I don't know.
This shit sounds so good. You just want to sing the whole thing.
Yeah, so they were producing Mac Band, and then Luther came through. And she knew we were both there, so she hooked us up in Dallas, and we met. Started doing some demos and it just sort of evolved into a group that wasn't supposed to be. You know, it just, if the click is right, you got to like a thing with somebody, and it's just real. You know, they were going to do a producer's album. They want to have different singers come, and it just wasn't. They said, you know what? This is just you. This is the three of us. Let's just make it a real group as opposed to like a Quincy producer's record.
So there's 4 albums by the Family Stand. Am I correct or no?
I think so. Well, the first one was not called Family Stand. The first one was called Yvonne Jeffries and the Stand, which is very odd. A long story, not worth telling. So we changed the name to the Family Stand because it's like, I'm trying to explain that at every interview. I'm not Yvonne. My name's not Yvonne. So, but yeah, we had Chain, which was the one with Ghetto Heaven, and then we had Moon and Scorpio. Then there was, then Connected. Now, I'm not even on that one. And then there was 2 more after that, so 5, actually.
Going back to the Family Stand part, Fatina and I always get, you know,
and?
we get totally reamed for the name of the group. I mean, we get called everything from Kendrick Lamar to Kindred and the Family Stone.
No.
Everything that you could imagine on the
Or they
spectrum.
always had the and in there.
Everything
but
on
see,
the
y'all didn't have
spectrum of
no name in
wrong.
the front of it, so you didn't have to have the and the Family Stand.
Yeah,
So
Right,
it's
we
just
get
right.
everything
Family
on the
Stand.
spectrum of wrong. Did you all get a lot of misnaming, a lot of
Yes.
not knowing what
Or
you
who y'all
guys
think
were?
y'all
were
is?
this,
Y'all
that kind of-
We was
slide the
always
Family Stone.
It was always a Family Stone. Family Stone. So it's like,
Because now they tour, too, the Family Stone, without
Yeah.
Sly.
yeah.
I think, and so that must be
they
something
do,
else.
They do. I've seen Sly with them though, you know, a few years ago. You know.
And after having such a real, and like Ghetto Heaven was really, that was my jam. I love that song. After being in a group, and I think always that's just an interesting thing, and you've kind of been able to experience all of these things. You've done singing background in to two major artists from 2 totally different genres, gone into being in a group, and then transitioned into being a solo artist. What were some of the challenges and really some of the rewards of moving from a group space into your own solo music?
Well, you know, these guys are Peter and Jeff from Family Stand. One of them is 6'2", and the other one is 6'4". And so they were always my safe towers on the side. So that was difficult. I actually cried, you know, because I didn't really want to do a solo thing. They said, you got to do a solo thing because the label wasn't treating the group well. So like, let's just get you out and we'll do some stuff on your, you know, so it became a sort of an escape, okay? That's the downside, is that you don't have that, those little bounce. I don't know, like you guys have each other. You got each other's back, you know. I like that. I did enjoy that. I liked being a background singer because, you know, you got your people, you're harmonizing together. When you're up here by yourself, the bad thing is, no, you don't have that in front with you, but you can do what the hell you want to know. That was nice. I like that. I do like, you know, just being able to run the stage, you know.
Well, we brought you into I think in 2000, that Common and Macy Gray redid over Ghetto
Yes.
Heaven.
Yes.
You know, and now that's a really, really popular thing, that a lot of the songs that are 10, 15 years old come back in hip hop. You know, and that was a new thing for them to do something like that. A song that wasn't that old. How did that make you feel to hear, you know, someone young and new put a new spin on your record at that time?
That was fly. I mean, because, you know, first of all, Common, I love Common. D'Angelo, who doesn't? Come on over here, it's D'Angelo over here. Come on. I was like, wow. And I knew D'Angelo before, and the first time I met him, he was backstage at the first album. He was backstage. He was real shy, you know. And he just wanted to talk about Ghetto Heaven. So I knew he loved that song, but, you know, years later he did it with Common, and I was just like, okay, so you know that you're not just screaming into the void, you know? That it's, people are hearing it, and not just hearing it, but they're receiving it. They're like, you know, they're appreciating it, and then wanting, and then finding a way to give it another, you know, leg of life, which, that's a beautiful thing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing when that happens. You know, I've had a few people do songs of mine that really it blows your mind, because sometimes you don't find out about it
Until after it's done.
It ain't supposed to be like that, though.
Did you write Ghetto Heaven?
Yeah, the three of us, all three of us.
You know, I was just thinking about this as I was sitting here, and I'm thinking about y'all's image and the look, and just wondering if at all did you get compared, or people sometimes think that you guys were loose ends because of the girl and the two guys.
You know what? That's funny, but we didn't. We never got that. I think because you know, they stayed. Their vibe is their vibe, and it's groove. You know what I mean? But Family Stand, we had the one song Ghetto Heaven, but if you came to see us live, it was a rock show. It was a soul rock, you know, slammer.
You gave them everything.
So it was a totally different energy. So we did garner a different audience of you know, sort of alternative people that dug the alternative style and lifestyle, or you know, music, and we found a nice little niche. You know what I mean? That worked for our weirdnesses.
Nice.
And you talked about the, you all having written Ghetto Heaven, but also as a songwriter has extended even beyond that. Like I said, I just enjoyed the diversity of your career and all the many things that you've been able to do. You've also been nominated for a Grammy and writing for another powerhouse vocalist, Lalah Hathaway. And you know, what was that process like when did you write it specifically for her, or was it,
Yeah, I mean, you know, I prefer to do that because, you know, I learned that from Jam and Lewis. You know, you sit down and you listen to people, you talk, and you know, I knew Lalah. We had been on the road together. I have a project called Daughters of Soul.
yes,
We was gonna
indeed,
talk
I
about
want you to
that
talk
tour.
about that.
Oh, okay. So that was like, we had so much fun on that tour. But so when she was working on Self-Portrait, you know, she said, I want you to come out to LA, let's work on some songs. I'm like, yeah, of course, you know, because I had threatened her, if you do another album without. Do you know that she did Ghetto Heaven too?
No.
Yes, she did.
Do you have a copy of that?
Do I have it? I don't know.
We can listen to it right after the show.
My manager can pull it up. Hiram Bullock and Lalah Hathaway, Ghetto Heaven. It's beautiful.
Wow.
Okay.
I just posted it on Facebook the other day. But
Going to your Facebook page right now.
right
So
now.
tell us about the Daughters of Soul. And in fact, how about this? How about the band? Y'all come on out and have a seat, and we're going to ask about Daughters of Soul while we prepare for what we want to hear.
Cool.
Yeah, you know, for the moment. But yes, I would love to hear about that, because I was reading about that. This is a serious lineup, y'all. Wait till y'all hear who was on this.
Okay, so Daughters of Soul. The whole concept is Daughters of Soul, pioneers and icons. So we had Lalah Hathaway, we had Indira Khan, the daughter of Shaka. We had Lisa Simone, the daughter of Nina Simone. We had Leah McRae, who was the daughter of two soul pioneers, George McRae, and oh wow, I'm forgetting her name. What's the other McRae name? Y'all know the Betty? No, McRae with the big hits, man. Okay, I'll come up with it later.
Sorry, we lost.
That's a shame. I should know
And nobody
that.
yelled it out.
Nobody
That's
know.
so terrible.
Nobody know the other McRae.
Non-music lovers out there. What do you say?
Who?
Gwen.
Thank
That's
you.
so- Gwen.
Gwen
It's
McRae.
Gwen.
Gwen.
Gwen, I said that.
Oh, you did? Did you say Gwen?
Get it together,
He said
Sandra.
it silently.
Get it together.
I didn't hear him.
He said it very silently.
Okay. All right. So what?
It was all in my mind. It was all in my mind.
Okay. So then we had those are the actual Daughters of Soul, and then we call the spiritual Daughters of Soul, which were like another.
Gospel?
No, spiritual, just daughters that
like
just
the
the
soul
lineage
genre.
of
I got
soul.
Yeah, I get it,
You
I
know
get
the
it.
genre, and that was Nona Hendrix from LaBelle,
Yes.
Joyce Kennedy from Mother's Finest,
Yes.
and Sandra St. Victor from Family
Family
Stand.
Yes.
And also we brought out Denise Williams a couple times. We brought out I brought out Karen Wheeler.
Yes.
So it was.
Oh, this is a powerhouse
It was
thing
a
here.
bumping tour. We did.
I haven't heard
toured
somebody
Europe.
say bumping in a long time. Sandra.
Did I again tell my age? Did I
But
again
it is
show-
a fabulous age connected
It's
to a
bumping.
fabulous woman.
It's bumping.
Listen,
I'm sorry. It's fire. Is that
fire. There we
It's
go.
lit. It's lit. It's lit. It's lit.
It's lit. It's lit.
But you have to say it like this. It's lit. You gotta
It's
say it like
lit.
that. Yeah, it's lit.
It's lit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's lit.
We gonna have you talking like the young folks before this thing is over with.
Stop playing.
So Sandra,
Yeah.
where can we find you right now on social media
Oh yeah.
and all
Project.
places? Current
Oh.
project.
Yeah.
Let the people know.
Well, the social media is easy. It's just sandrastVictor.com, and on Instagram, Sandra St. Victor, on Facebook, Sandra St. Victor, on Twitter, Sandra St. Victor,
That's how you do it. You keep it all consistent.
Sandra St.
Everybody
Victor.
can find you.
You know, current projects. The Family Stand is doing shows again, so we're going to do New York, probably Atlanta, LA, and South by Southwest. And working on the new music. We're going to put out some like a few cuts of live show we did several years ago, and some new things. We just did this fabulous show at the Met Museum. It was amazing. It was really, just to be in that space, doing rock, acting out was nice. So we got that, and I have a solo project with the producer Mark Batson.
Mark Batson, I know Mark. He
Yeah,
used to
Mark
do a lot of
is-
stuff with
Mark's-
Anthony Hamilton.
Mark is the truth. Okay, so we would that's another side thing we got going on. So I'm really just revving up again, because I was in the studio for the past couple of years, just in LA. I live in the Netherlands, so I was going back and forth. Amsterdam. So I was going back and forth from Netherlands to LA for the past couple of years. So now I'm just trying to let me wake up again, because people think I've retired. I'm not retired if you don't see me for 2 years. So I was like,
So we're looking forward to seeing the Family Stand and seeing all the new projects. And then when the new music comes out, you have to come back here.
For sure.
and present. We'd love to have all y'all back here to come and perform and
That would be
do your
incredible.
thing. And
That would be
promise to
crazy.
come and see us again soon.
of course. I just love what y'all do. I mean, look at Black Love, man. Look at that.
Y'all in for a special treat. I was here during the sound check. It's about to go down. It's about to be bumping in here. I'm telling you. It's gonna be lit.
No, see, it's not lit. It's,
Oh, God.
It's lit. It's like
It's
that.
lit.
It's lit. It's lit.
It's gonna be lit. Ladies and gentlemen, Sandra St. Victor.
The first one that I'm going to do, I'm pulling my phone out because this is not my song. This is one of the songs that I wrote for Lalah. And the concept was I wanted her to pretend that she was doing a duet with her dad. I had to really, she didn't want to do that, but she did it. She killed it. But so she did her dad, and then she answered in her own voice. Of course, in the studio, you can sort of weave in and out and do overdubs. We're not in the studio, so I'm going to be doing Daddy and Lalah, but I might miss a couple things because I can't, overdub. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't going to miss shit. Let's do it. Under my skin, I feel it reaching my soul. Can't resist my safe illusion of control. Slowly fading. Already know. Dance, we're dancing. We dance before. Matter of time. Go out and go. We come together. Tear us apart. Though it was written, times to spend.
Yes, we climb to heights
Turn it up. Oh, in a naked truth. Deep currency. Currency. Close the space between you and me, with a touch of cinder burning within, threatens to spread before it begins. Bated breath upon her, what you just said is going down. You're taking me let's do our little na 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 na. It's just a naked truth, truly alive when I'm with you.
It's just a naked truth.
You, God, I thought I knew.
You were living proof.
Hey, that was given and time stand still. Well, as we drive to heights, a new. Now let's go on real back. We'll go back cool a few more years. Just one or two more years. All right. The ghetto, talking about the ghetto, talking about the ghetto, talking about the ghetto, say the ghetto, talking about the ghetto, the ghetto, 1, 2, 3. No, I love my baby. Oh, my baby loves me. Need a little oh yeah. It's colder to whenever. It's time to get some ghetto heaven. Ghetto heaven. Ghetto. Oh, ooh. Man, I likes brandy. Oh, especially beef.
She keeps it by the radio, listen to the Reverend Breeze.
Yeah.
10:07, it's time to get some ghetto heaven.
Ghetto heaven.
Ghetto heaven.
Ghetto.
It's time to get some ghetto heaven.
Ghetto heaven.
Ghetto heaven.
Ghetto.
Needs a little ghetto heaven.
Ghetto. 2, 3. Oh, baby, baby, baby. All I need in this world is you. Yes, I do. Will you call? Baby, 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 baby. Your touch, your kiss will get me through. Yes, it will. Woo. Say ghetto. Ghetto. I'm gonna ask y'all to help me out a little bit right here. You can keep it going. Ghetto heaven. Ghetto heaven. Ghetto heaven. Ghetto heaven. Ghetto heaven. Ghetto heaven. Okay, break it down, break it down, break it down. What you got, Philly? Can y'all sing? All right. Oh, word? Okay. All right, we'll start out cute. Ghetto heaven. 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 Ghetto Ghetto heaven. Get to heaven. Get to heaven. Get to heaven. Did they even try? I didn't even see a tip. Oh, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. All right, we're gonna go to that last verse. I think we're gonna go to the last verse. Do I got time? I got it. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. You know what? We're gonna go to the end. We're just gonna go to the end. We're gonna skip that last verse and go right to the get to one more time. Get to heaven. 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 Get to, I say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Masterclass, ladies and gentlemen. Sandra, say Victor!
In the words of Common,
Yes,
find heaven in
indeed.
yourself and God. Find heaven in yourself and God. Find heaven in yourself and God.
Come on.
Find heaven in yourself and God.
Come on.
Find heaven in yourself and God.
Come on.
Find heaven in yourself and God. 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 That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yes, indeed.
All
Yes,
right,
indeed.
all
Y'all
right.
give a round of applause for Sandra. Say
Y'all with
Victor.
us, y'all with us, y'all with us.